guys, welcome back to Poevember Day 3, and the prompt for today is the funeral. And I honestly was a little bit torn, a little bit struggling on how I was going to do this. I have a couple of things I've told myself I want to make for this month, and one of them was like interesting specimens, and I went to go pull my specimen die out and then was like, what are you going to do with this? You don't know. But then in the same bag as the specimen die was this film strip, and I was like, you know what? You wouldn't typically reach for a film strip when making a Gothic journal, unless you were making like a Gothic movie journal, which would be cool. But I was like, okay, how do I make film strip and funeral Gothic-y and cool? And so I decided to turn it into sort of a little like compartmentalized journaling spot, like a little tag, by making it double facing. And so there's little tiny boxes that you can journal in on the back, and then the front is decorated like a regular tag. I don't know why I felt like it had to be little tiny boxes on the back, but that's what we went with. So I cut these out of just some standard black cardstock, and then to add some color, I've decided that the color I'm going to be using as the accent color for all the things that I make this month is going to be red, because black and red are standard when making stuff for Poe. And then I went back and I used my Distress Oxide to go over the black because it's opaque, so it'll show up on black paper. And then I went back on top of that with some aged brass wax. I think it was aged brass, just to give it some pops of color and some depth, so it's not just solid black on black, although that would also be very cool looking. I wanted to just add a little bit of variation, some visual interest, and make it a little grungier to look at. So I have this sheet of ephemera. It is from the Portraits of Death ephemera kit, which I believe is on my Etsy, but also at a lower price on my Patreon, and I will keep shilling it. I feel really bad about it, so you don't have to tell me about it. And I'm using this strip, which is a stanza about the death of a young girl, and it seems like something that maybe got printed in the newspaper to mourn the loss of a loved one. And I thought it was very appropriate, since you know, we're doing a Lenore right now, to have something specifically dedicated to a young dead woman, because that's who Lenore is in the poem. So I added that to the film strip to be the little background piece. And then what I'm going to do is I added the film strip to one of the background pages from my Raven kit, and I'm going to put them together, and they're going to make a very nice, very tidy tag that I will definitely regret not putting a little topper in between the two layers of. I will regret that, but I will amend that, so don't worry. And then I'm just going to go around and cover up any of the white edges of the papers that I used with some black ink. And then I had to dig into my sticker stash, because I wanted to also use up some stickers. I have stickers in abundance. And I didn't make you guys watch me go through the process of struggling to figure out which one I wanted to use. I mean, I made you watch me do it a little bit, but not a lot of it. It took me a very long time to decide. And I ended up on these really pretty stickers that are like translucent, but they're on this like shimmery, glittery like type of vinyl. And they're really pretty, and they have these flowers and these bones. And I managed to sort of assemble kind of a body. I found a skull and a rib cage, and then this piece, which I think is like a jawbone, but it could also be like a scapula. It's really hard to tell. It's sort of obscured by the flower in a way that I couldn't tell. So I was like, that will fit for the bottom, and I popped a little moth in there. And then the reason I left the little bars across unglued was so that I could slide these little pieces of like die cut foliage in there to have like, you know, the funeral flowers. We have the body. We've got this like poem in dedication to the loss of a young woman. I just thought like all together this painted a picture in a film strip, and it kind of worked out. If I was going to do this again, I would say don't glue the film strip to the back paper first. Glue your flowers to the film strip and then glue it down, because that would have been so much easier. But I am nothing if not committed to the bit, so we managed to pull it off, even though it was a bit of struggle bus getting everything together. Honestly, I'm happy with how it came out, so I would probably, honestly, do it again this exact way and learn nothing from my mistakes. But if I can make you guys learn from my mistakes, I'll do my best so that you don't have to go through the fiddliness of this. But it came out so nice, I'm not even mad at it. And these stickers just look so great, and I love the colors they add without being, like, too bright. And here's where I'm correcting my no topper for my tag mistake by cutting out a little bit of lace that I'm just going to stitch to the top really quick when I get a sec. And here I'm gluing the bars down, which would have been easier if I had already stuck the flowers underneath to begin with. And then I decided the back was too plain, so I will eventually go back and add another die cut to the back just to sort of tie it all together. Also, I just think it really pops against that background like color, that little blue background. So it works out really nicely. You guys, I am still super hyped for Poevember. So, like, I think it's only going to get better from here. I'm definitely sort of going back to basics and form a little bit and just trying to keep things simple so that, you know, I don't get the overwhelm, because that definitely happens to me. I am a regular person who does get burnt out. So to prevent that, but also to produce as much stuff as I want to produce, I'm trying to just sort of keep things like nice and tidy and simple and contained. And I'm really enjoying that process of having to work through it without going over the top. I will fail at this task eventually. I will, honestly. But for the time being, I'm really enjoying it. I hope that you guys are too. Definitely come back tomorrow so that we make for day 4. And definitely check out the hashtag Poevember24 and see what everybody is making. Don't forget to tag me if you are making stuff. If I have not commented, I have not seen it. And I'll catch you guys next time. Happy crafting, guys. Bye. I appreciate your faces.